What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Blackout Podcast Special Edition. Man, I can get used to this pre-recorded stuff. I know a lot of you day oneers and you guys all up in the super chats. You guys love when we go live. Of course you do, and we love interacting, taking phone calls and all that stuff. But you know we go live on Mondays at 8 p.m. At this point, I don't know when this is going to drop. It could drop on a Monday like we did Brown Boys a while back on a Monday. But, you know, you got to get these artists when they can, when they're in town, and they hit you up. And, you know, we're blessed to have them on the platform because we live way in the hell out here. We're not close to L.A. So when you got them, you got to pull them in. And I'd like to welcome to the platform. These cats go back, man, you know, 90s era right here. One of the baddest to do it. Matter of fact, they got bad in his name. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Bad Boy from Clika 1. What's up, dog?
Man, just blessed to be here with you, man.
You know, how crazy is this? Who would have thought this, like, you know, 30, what we at? Yeah, 30 plus years later, man, like we be sitting right next just doing a thing called a podcast. Like, who would have thought of, like, what the hell is a podcast?
In a million years, right?
You know, but yeah. I don't know. Have we ever crossed paths before, like at shows?
Let me tell you
Come on, talk
cool
about
story.
It, man.
In 1992, man, before I ever picked up a microphone to touch the pen.
You said 92?
92.
Okay.
So I had you know, we all grow up with that one rich friend. I don't know if you had a one rich friend that just, you know, that had the money. It's just white dude,
yeah.
Right? But him and his sister, man, they had tickets to the Rock and Jock baseball game in Las Vegas, Nevada.
That sounds familiar.
You were there.
Oh, shit.
So y'all did the Rock and Jock at the Cashman Field, 92, and she had backstage passes.
Okay.
So in this particular event, they had it set up to where there was, you know, everybody had their own table, but I got to go backstage with all the artists, and I'm talking about, man, everybody was there.
VIP access,
yes, sir. And I remember we had a little table by you guys, and you know, you guys are pretty much one of the artists. Oh, you guys, and then All For One was there. I don't know if you know All For One.
Shit, yeah.
But my wife and I, we actually.
Was that, they had that I Swear?
Yeah,
that was a big record.
That song, me and my wife got married to her. It's one of the.
No way.
Yes, sir. That one and Endless Love by Mariah and Luther.
That's right.
Or you could go back and take it, you know, to the old school one. But yeah, so I went up there with the intentions of getting an autograph by them for the wife, and then an autograph for me through you guys, right? So I go up there, and I remember I was timid because I was 12 years old. So, but y'all had some big ass bodyguards next to y'all, and I remember, you know, I got the courage and I walked up to y'all, and immediately the bodyguard stopped me. He's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm just trying to get a autograph from the homies."
Yeah.
And fucking Bobby. Now me and Bobby became very close.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Bobby.
We became very close. That's my brother. Rest in peace.
Oh, and can we hear the stories, bro?
Yes, got some cool stories with him. But so immediately he goes, "Man, see, this is what I hate, man. I can't ever get no." Like, he was very upset that I came up to him and asked him, right? And it bothered me, but the security guard came and he talked to me. He's like, "I got you." He's like, "Just give me a little bit of time, and I got you." So he went and somehow got the autograph from both of y'all, and he brought it to me, and, you know, and that always stayed with me. But
sure, first impressions are everything.
Yes, sir.
Especially when people you look up to or at least listen to on the radio.
Yes, and I understand because I watched fan after fan after fan. Not backstage, but throughout the whole game, go up to you guys. So I understand it. Was it right? Or maybe I wouldn't do that, but I do not blame my brother Bobby at all because we all take things in differently. And if that's how it affected him, then that's how it affected him. Who am I to tell him how to feel about the situation, you know?
Right.
I can't. So as a grown-up, I could tell you that, no, I don't blame him. As a fan, 12 years old, yeah, I was hurt, but eventually I met him and I got to tell him the same story, and we laughed about it, and this was during a good time in his life, as far as, you know, his sobriety. He was actually babysitting us, and Little Rob.
Babysitting.
Yeah, because
You
that's what he
guys?
called it. Yeah, he called us. He was saying,
I'll babysit
"Yeah,
y'all
I gotta
motherfuckers.
babysit you guys. And, you guys can't at least
That's
clean
funny
up after
because
yourself."
everybody always said they babysit his
No,
ass.
he was actually watching over us, and to tell you that I could tell you he was literally had to babysit us because not only were we drinking, but we were also on that embalming fluid, you know.
That's right.
And so he watched over us, man, and made sure we got home safe. And he
Now,
did
when was this? What year was
This
it? Or
was,
around ballpark?
about 2004 when he was no, before that, 2002, 2003 when he was over there messing with Royalty and Diego.
Okay. Yeah, I think my second or third year in radio.
Okay.
Because that's when we kind of parted, like in 2000.
I remember you were doing the radio.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, you guys weren't together at that particular moment. So yep, you're right. But yeah, man, he became my brother, and when I tell you that, you know, we would speak on the phone maybe every couple months, man, and he was a very good dude when he wasn't, you know.
Right. When was the last time you spoke to him, DWTX? Do you remember?
I would have to say about 2008.
Okay. Do you remember where that was, or
I was in Vegas
what
at
the
the
conversation
house.
was like?
Yes, the conversation was actually a very, very, very deep conversation, sir. And he was really fighting his demons at that time, and we sat there and we both, I believe we both got to the point where we told each other's life story, but he was really going through it, man, and you know, like we all do,
Right.
and I don't blame him for going through any of that, man.
I think anybody who like says that they don't have shit in the closet or has some type of experience, any type of turmoil, is full of shit.
They full of crap.
Excuse me. Who's this handsome young boy right here?
My son right here. It's his birthday today,
Hey,
man.
what's up, my man? What's up, little man? What's your name?
Ayan.
Ayan.
Yeah.
That's dope. Like the speaker, Ayan?
It's
I-O-N?
Yeah, it means a gift of God. A gift of God, right, Mama? God's gift. I'm sorry.
That's
God's
right.
gift.
You are God's gift, man.
Yes, sir.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
That's
man.
right, man.
Had
Bless
to bring him on here. I told him we're gonna go meet one of my somebody I looked up to, man.
That's what's up.
I showed him the video with you and Selena. He couldn't believe it.
The Coca-Cola commercial?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, that was a blessing. You know, just to meet her, and that story always pops up. Like, I've performed a couple times with her, different fairs here or there, but that commercial just did it all for me, man.
I mean, to have a Coca-Cola commercial, my boy, to get a Coca-Cola check, I mean,
yeah.
How much more up there could you get?
Yeah, I wish I would have paid more attention to that, because easy come, easy go. Well, somebody caught me drinking a Pepsi one day, and it was a wrap.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Doing dumb shit, you know what I'm saying?
Are you serious?
And these were back in the day before social media. So yeah, I don't know. Cliff will be able to tell you, man. My former manager, I was somewhere, and we back there.
Just leave in the middle of that interview. Go ahead.
Nah, he good.
Okay.
You good? Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Do you? This it's good. We good. Anything happen? You know what I'm saying? We organic here. We ain't structured. But no, man. I remember. I was just in a magazine. Somebody had took a picture and it made one of those radio station magazines or trade magazines. And long story short, it had a Pepsi on it. And easy come, easy go. So I fucked up that bag. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you, if you don't mind me. But did that mess up the deal that y'all had working out?
With Coke?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Really?
If somebody's paying you thousands, you get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn.
Yeah, man. So it was just one of those things. But I mean, going back to Bobby, I mean, that's crazy how that's how you bring him up, and I'm sure our viewers. They always ask about him, man. Because I've given them my stories, and maybe I haven't given enough. But when I talk to people that have actually, because remember, him and I weren't speaking for a while, so I was doing my thing, doing radio, and he kind of took the name and went on tour with it. So I know he came in cahoots with a lot of y'all cats. He would bounce around from Vegas to New Mexico to Texas, wherever pretty much he could lay his head, bro.
You know what I tell people that how significant his life and his death was, because I mean, just besides everything that he gave to us as the I mean, we had Frost, but a lot of Shaded Brown was as significant as Kid Frost was, man. And y'all just, y'all brought a different flavor than what Frost brought. Frost, he was the OG or whatever. He had that more street, but y'all really had that. Not that he didn't, but the swag, the hip hop, the voice, that just the two voices were something you just ain't gonna find that.
I would say the difference
chemistry
between us and Frost, and I know where you're coming from, is like you said, more Frost was definitely, the ultimate when it comes to Brown Pride. I mean, La Raza says it all, bro, that in one song, and he had the lowrider scene fucking jam-packed down. So did we, but we also explored a little bit more hip-hop side, like you mentioned.
Yes,
and I come from, just like you, I'm sure, and I can't wait to get into this, but like our musical backgrounds. I mean, I grew up on Big Daddy Kane and Rakim.
Right.
Those are my rap gods. Like, they say Eminem's my rap god, or so-and-so may say so-and-so is. Those were my two growing up. We're talking 88, 87, 89.
You could tell in your guys' music.
Definitely. We compliment them a lot in our music. I know Bobby did. I did as well. You can see some of the, how you say, the mannerisms, and some flows. But shit, I mean, you're a product of sometimes what you grow up around. It's no different than people on stage. I always say doing this movement. Remember hip hop?
Yeah.
Fucking,
of course.
the leaders of the new school type shit.
Yeah.
We were doing the same because it was a sign of the times. But going back to your scenario, man, I mean, if we're talking about music, so many questions run through my head right now. Let's start with there was three of you, Bad Boy, S.A. Brown, and Romero, correct?
Yep.
Because I'm learning. I had learned about you guys back then. I remember the cover, which is a dope ass cover. Here's these three young vatos, man, with white tees on, representing. And I asked one day, where are these guys from? They said Las Vegas. But then I heard, fast forwarding later on, I heard New Mexico. I heard Inglewood in some of your raps. Can you break down who's who and where they're from exactly?
Yep. So in 1994, 95, we connected as a group. But so I came from Mexico. I was born in Mexico.
Okay. What part?
In Guadalajara.
Jeez.
So I came to LA in 85, and I lived out here till 90. So I was out here for 5 years.
Okay.
From 5 to 10. And then at 10, I moved to Vegas, and I lived in Vegas ever since. Well, I actually came back for 1 year when I was 12 in Moreno Valley, but then I went back. So
you lived in the IE for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, salute.
Yeah.
Hey, Moval, what's up?
Yep, in Moreno. I went to Alexander Middle School. Got into some trouble out there, and Mom sent me out here, man. So it's backwards, huh? Instead of sending me out there to get, she brought me out here. But so
Vegas, you mean?
Yep.
Okay, got you.
Yep. So I was in Vegas, and then Mom sent me out here supposedly to get me out away from trouble.
Oh, okay.
But it was worse out here.
She sent you to Cali to get out of trouble?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But so in 94, I had a talent show at a gas station back in those days. It was a mom and pop type of gas station called a Stop and Shop.
Okay.
Or the Stop and Kill, whatever. But
this was in Vegas?
In Vegas.
Okay, gotcha.
So I go up there. I was 14, and Brown was up there in a group. He was already in a group called what are they called? I forgot. It's just brain fart.
Right.
But it was two negros. So it was Brown and two black homeboys. And I went up there and performed by myself. And after I got off stage, Brown came up to me and asked me if I was willing to get on a song with him. I'm like, hell yeah. So then fast forward to about a month later, he called me and he asked me, if I was down to record that day to just do a song. I'm like, yeah. So he comes, picks me up, And on the way to the studio, he's like, we're going to swing by and pick up another dude that's going to get on the song with us. And he had always asked me from the beginning if I knew any other Mexicans that rap, because what his intentions was to create a group.
See, I was going to ask you, was he messing with any other Mexicano rappers or Chicanos at the time?
Not at the time. It was just him and two negros.
Got it.
But he wanted to make a different a group outside of that group with just Mexicans.
And this was 92, you said?
94.
Okay, 94. So we were already out.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
Frost and Mello. Okay, go on. I'm just trying to follow the timeline as far as the culture goes.
Yeah, so matter of fact, he got his name because of y'all and Kid Frost, because his name was Kid Brown.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Salute, man.
So it's a lot of Shady Brown and Kid Frost.
That's what's
That's
up.
how he got his name,
Humbling.
Kid Brown.
That's humbling. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, because now it's Essa Brown, but back then he was Kid Brown. So then on the way to the studio, I had battled Romero at a house party the week before Brown picked me up. So when we're driving, he's like, hey, we're going to go pick up this dude. And I told him, I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. I battled some Mexican dude, and he's dope, too. And I got his number also. His name is Romero. Now, he didn't know him as Romero. He knew him as Randy. So on our way to the house, he's like, we're going to go pick up this dude named Randy. And it ended up being Romero.
Now, before you go further, on the cover, the famous cover, right, with you guys in the white tees, I know you're to the left. Who's the tall one in the center?
That's Brown.
And then, okay, that's Brown. And then the one on the right is Romero. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So back to your original question. So
it kind of reminds, now that I think about it, kind of reminds me of this one. This is our original Brown and Proud. How the three of us, how the three of you guys, and there's three of us. But this is Fabe Love.
No,
this was our original CD.
You guys are,
but this was our producer, and he rapped on a couple, Fabian. But then there was just me and Bobby.
It does look
so then,
like it.
Now that's crazy, bro. It comes full circle like that.
The only thing I would say is instead of the middle one, the short one in the middle,
it was the tall one,
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I see that. So then Brown, he lived out here also and moved out there around the same time, around 10.
Yeah.
But he was from Inglewood.
Brown was from Inglewood. Okay.
Yeah. And then Romero he's from Albuquerque. And same thing, at a young age, I think he was probably about 12 or 13 when he moved to Vegas.
Okay.
So none of us are originally from Vegas. Most of the people from Vegas aren't really from Vegas.
Just kind of. Why do you think people would migrate from LA to Arizona? They go to New Mexico. They go to Vegas.
I asked my mom, and I think she said just because of the how crazy it was out here.
I was gonna say the violence.
Yeah. So To answer your question, Romero's from Albuquerque, and but we all grew up eventually in Vegas, and we all went to school. And I mean, for me to say I'm from Cali because I lived here for 5 years, it's just nah,
Yeah, no, I feel you. So
I gotta represent where I got jumped in at, or
So do you say what people say? Hey man, where you from? Like, not like where you from, bro.
Yeah, but I could be like, oh, I'm from Cali, but. Because there is individuals that do that lived here for a couple years or that were born here and moved to Vegas at 9, and then all of a sudden you ask them and they try to claim like they from L.A.
Yeah, you get that a lot.
And
I remember going on the road, like when we would go tour, and like it'd be Arizona, it'd be Texas, wherever, outside of Cali, and we'd get asked the same question. Where you vatos from, man? This and that, whatever. From Riverside, man. Where? They don't know where the fuck Riverside's at.
Right.
I say, L.A.? Yeah, about 45 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Out east, Oh, y'all vatos from L.A.? And like they just completely missed, you know what I'm saying? Because through what I just said, it was like, all right. And there's where the rep started coming, these vatos are from L.A. And nah, fool, like, because if you break it down, my story's kind of similar with you. I didn't go as far, but I mean, I grew up in Orange County.
Right.
And then, we started the group when I moved, my mom moved us, the family, to Riverside. Which is only about 35 minutes away, not as big of a drive for you guys. But I get what you're saying. In other words, being that young, and it's like when I moved, the transition was like, who is this fool? When I moved to Riverside. And then I was like, ooh, these fools, I come from Santa. I'll slay anybody up in this battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had that mentality, whatever. But, you know, you get humbled real quick. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Especially when you outnumbered. Fools
Yeah.
will let you know,
Yeah.
where you at. And there's where we came up with the song. It ain't where you from. It's
Is
where you at.
Yeah, man. I remember a crazy story when I came out here at 12, supposedly to get away, man. Immediately, I you know how they say find the biggest dude and take off on them when you go to prison type
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
That's not what I did, but I did call him out just to call him out. We went in the bathroom and chunked him, and to get my place. To
Right.
believe it or not, for me to earn my place, I felt, and it wasn't like I just picked the biggest dude and was like, "Hey, let's catch a fade." Nah, it happened. He was punking all kinds of homies that were chilling with him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll go in the bathroom. And I'll whoop any of you." So in that immediately, I said, "This my chance."
That was your
right?
chance,
So
yeah.
I said, "I'll go in the bathroom with you," and he's like, "What? Who the fuck? You know?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, you think you did?" I'm like, "Come on." And we went in there and chunked him. And immediately I got my place.
That's
know?
right. That's right.
But that's
Like David and Goliath type shit.
Yeah, that's sometimes what you have to do. At least in my situation,
you gotta get that
I felt,
respect.
Yeah,
you know?
I felt I had to. If I had the opportunity to, I felt I needed to get my place, and that's exactly what I did, man. So I had a smooth ride them couple months that I went to school here, because the word was all this fool's from Vegas boy, and I was dressed all preppy. I was trying to get away from the gang shit.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's sometimes what you got to do is let your ego speak a little bit, you know.
What was the chemistry between you, Brown, and Romero when you guys first got together? Because I know when me and Bobby, we got together, we were put together as well.
I heard that, man.
So we kind of just like snipped each other's
believe
out.
That when I heard that you guys were put together, I'm like, damn, I would have assumed that y'all grew up together, man.
Different sides of the tracks, man. But I mean, we just blended well.
And somebody put y'all together, like really?
Cliff Ritchie, our manager, who was known for.
He saw it though.
Bro, he just saw the vision. I mean, I really got to thank Big Lady K, who was from Riverside. She was the first female artist on Priority Records back in the day. She had a couple hit records out. Okay. And she the one that introduced me to my manager. And long story short, it was Jammin' James, my producer, who told Cliff, my manager, he needs to put me and Bobby together, because Frost had just came out. And I was supposed to be solo, but at that time we were off to the races. It was like,
were you guys both signed as artists to Interscope at the time?
Nah, we were. Our first deal was with Quality Records, and it was an independent. We shared with Timmy T and Angelica, South Central Cartel. Remember SEC? Yep. We were on that label, but it took us a year to get our deal. But during that time, we were kind of like getting to know each other and grooming ourselves as MCs and learning each other. But yeah, we was put together, man.
So you guys were never artists, like signed to a label before you guys were, no?
Nah.
And your first album came out independently?
Nah. Well, Quality was an independent label. It was a smaller label out of L.A.
But it was distributed through a major?
It was distributed through Pump Records, which was another independent distribution. We didn't get major label attention until we signed to Mercury Records in '94 when we did the Lane and the Cut album with Hey DJ.
Oh, wow. So Sunday Afternoon was through
Quality, an independent record label.
Wow.
Facts. And they take care of you so much more, I mean, just by experience. And in hindsight, I mean, I probably wouldn't have left, but if I didn't leave, I wouldn't know what else was out there. So we were young. We were blowing up. We had 3 hit records on the radio, and we just got the opportunity. Boom. Let's go to Mercury. And then they put out one of our final albums, which was one of our biggest hits too, which charted, which was Hey DJ and If You Want to Groove. But we learned a lot, man, and
what was My Homies on? Which album?
That was on the Hip Hop Locals. That was the second album.
Second?
92. That was on Quality Records.
Wow.
So that's how me and Bobby got together, was through Jammin' James, the producer of those records, man.
Right. That's crazy, man. I thought you guys were with a major for both all your career.
That was the biggest dilemma, because being on a smaller label, as you probably know, and if you don't know, Bro, we started getting popularity so fast. It was so popular so fast that they couldn't handle, to afford us. But meaning they didn't want to spend the money. Like we had a chance to play Lollapalooza in Chicago, which is like the Coachella of nowadays. And we had the Chicago wing, and we were already on the flyer and everything. And the thing was, we had Lollapalooza said we had to fly ourselves out, that we had to cover our own room and board. So I was like, I ain't coming out with the label. That we're signing the label, and they didn't want to cover it. So that was our final straw.
Serious?
Yeah.
So your pay wouldn't have covered that if you guys flew yourselves out, or was it just something like you performing just to perform without getting paid, but you get to perform on a big stage? Was that the case?
Yeah, pretty much flying us out and covering our room. That's all it was. I'm sure there was more to it, but I think at the end of the day, we already had spent so much money on limos and fucking around shit. We were fucking around.
I thought you guys were with a major throughout your whole beginning of your
independent. Career. Mellow Man and Frost were on majors. We weren't. We were on the. That's why it goes.
So you guys did it from the ground up.
Yeah, facts.
That's crazy. I really thought you guys were groomed and put on the radio through a major.
We just had some good.
Started off with one radio and then it just took off, right? I mean, it was good music. You couldn't deny the fact that it was great music.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you. But we had a great manager who had a good vision and knew how to fucking hustle. And that's really all it is. He was the smart. We're talking, my manager was the guy, Cliff was the guy that he founded Rodney O. Rodney O's from Riverside.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Brother Marquise, rest in peace. We just passed away from Tulac Crew. He's from Riverside.
Really?
Mr. Mix, the DJ, made all the beats for Tulac Crew. He's from Riverside. Wow. So he used to bring all these guys together for parties and whatever and host rap battles. So he started their careers, right? And then there's where he founded Big Lady K, and then he founded us all out here because he's originally from the IE, my manager. Man, so he was just smart, bro. He knew the Latino market. You know who came up with this concept, Brown and Proud? A black fool.
Yeah. That's crazy. I had no idea.
I know you know who Murray Brownfield is, right? Same type of vision. Like, I mean, at the end of the day for them, it's a vision, but it's all about numbers. You know that. So Murray, I take my hat off to him because he created a lane for a lot of the Chicano rappers out there. You know what I'm saying? And I remember seeing your CD, I want to say, when did the Late Night Creek come out?
In 96, 95, 96, mama.
Is that when the cover we've been talking about, was it on that album?
No, that was, Late Night Creek came out on Dump Record, Lowrider Volume 9.
So that was after the album with you three gentlemen?
Before. Our first album came out in 98, and that was a single that we did a single deal with Bill Walker in 96. So our album didn't come out till 2 years later after that single, and that single wasn't even on the album. So,
what's your biggest hit in your eyes?
And as far as statistics and from what we get paid now is Deadly Sins.
That has over, that's the Dr. Dre sample, right?
The Firm.
That's, I was trying to think of that because I was bumping that the other day.
Yeah.
And I heard you guys and I was like, oh shit. That's bigger than Late Night Creep?
That song has more numbers than the Firm's Phone Tap.
Damn.
Oh. Now, this gets good because it's you, Chicano rapping over that Firm beat, which is Dr. Dre's beat, right? That's already fucking like blows my wig back like shit. Yeah. And then you got King Little G, who did a letter to Dr. Dre, how he fucking blew up. Yeah. What does that say? What does that what does that say?
I remember
that motherfucking Chicanos could rap over Dre's beats all day and still have more views.
Plain and simple.
So the big question back then was, why didn't Dre fuck with Mexicans?
When I got out the joint, I remember I immediately went straight to the internet to look up who was doing what, just to do my homework. I was absent for 3.5 years. So immediately I noticed King Lil G, and I reached out, sent him my love and respect immediately
When was this? What year?
in 2013,
Okay.
2014.
So he's been out about maybe 13 years now. Is that safe to say, or a little less?
Yeah,
Just
something
about.
something like
Right.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I remember when he dropped Letter to Dre, believe it or not, I had a couple bars written to Dre.
Now we talking. Let's go.
I had the same idea.
Clip this
the
one.
Same idea. And I thought it was brilliant. So I'm not surprised why the homie is where he's at. And his whole swag, he was.
I think it was so refreshing to hear King
Yeah,
Lil G
yes.
on that specific track.
Yes, he was the beginning of the evolution of the Chicano rapper. I believe Clika one was now, and I don't mean that egotistically.
I know where you're going with that.
But yeah, I feel we were the beginning of the evolution, but King Little G was in your eyes. Like we didn't have the social media, so
Right.
it was harder for us to get there. But I salute the homie, even though I'm still a rapper at the end of the day, and I'm aiming.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I'm aiming for his position. Just
Yeah,
like
that's right. Let's go.
just like everybody else.
I think
should.
it's just in us, bro.
Yes.
If you were from that era, if you know, you know. And there's so many rappers that I've talked to from that era, that get it. Hazard's one of them. Shout out to Hazard.
Oh man, bars.
Fucking beast.
Bars.
Believe it or not, even homie Bozo, man, he used to be part of
He's
High Power.
dope. He's dope
But
too.
he was like, bro, I wasn't bumping Chicano rap. He goes, I was doing the hip hop thing. And I know you guys are getting tired of this whole thing, but it's a real thing.
Yeah.
I was talking to my boy, and before I get into that, I want to give you your flowers, bro, because you mentioned that you guys were the first to do that. And when I started really researching your music, even recently, I'm going, okay, Bad Boy fucking has some fucking, but he still does, motherfucker.
Yeah, thank you.
Like I wouldn't even, I'm a little rusty, but shit, my ego is kind of like, I got to check that out. Don't get me wrong, I'll still do it. I might come out with a loss, but I won't back down.
That's right. That's all that matters.
But you don't back down. But man, your shits you got, man. And I think that's what I kind of gravitated to even back then. It was something about, and after I found you were from Vegas, I was like, well, maybe that's the Stilo in Vegas.
Right.
Maybe that's how they get down over there. And compared to, some of the LA street rappers. And because, you always look at a book and they always say, don't judge a book by its cover. And judging by your book, I expected a lot something different.
Yeah.
But nah, man, you guys showed improved, bro.
I think that is why we were different too, because we were from a different state. Believe it or not, we were almost like what Northern Cali is. Northern Cali's got a different swag than Southern Cali,
Right.
So this is a great conversation too that I wanted to bring up with you too. But the state of Chicano rap as a whole, I feel Southern Cali is at the forefront, and they're the ones that are practically driving the car,
right,
wherever it's going.
You mean like with such as Lefty Gun
Lefty,
Plays,
yeah.
the Drummer Boys, and XYZ?
Yeah, everything that Southern Cali does, that's what we're known for.
Who's one of your hardest right now that you give props to? Like you could say, you know what, this homie's doing it.
I would have to say Westmont Scheme.
Westmont. Yeah, he's dope.
Westmont Scheme is if I had to pick top 3, Westmont would be one of them.
Did you see that cipher with him and Hazard and the Yodis and
I haven't seen the
Coyotes?
one with them.
They did it back in
come out?
April and May or so. I'll play it for you.
Okay. No, I saw the one he did with a couple other artists too. Some female opens it up. She's like talking, and then
Maybe my Reverie. Maybe I don't know if she's on that one too.
I'm not sure, but I thought I had watched everything that Westmont Schemes. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, maybe you might have missed that one, or maybe not. I mean, there's a lot of shit that he's on, but definitely drops bars. Yeah,
Westmont. I think Tres, the homie Tres, is something else.
Okay,
he's different. Hazard.
What about young Gritty? You heard of him? Little kid.
Yeah, he's dope, man.
He's the one that
He's
got
very
co-signed by. We just had him. He's out here from the IE.
Yeah, he's with Frank.
Nitty.
Frank Nitty,
Yep.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
dope as hell too. I also like Oside Blaze. Is that his name? Blaze One from, I think he's from Diego,
Okay.
Brownsville.
Okay.
Zapata the Ghost and you heard them?
Nah.
Oh man, Zapata the Ghost. He went and got a like, I think there's 4 members that are the original 4, but I think he switches, and sometimes he brings in an artist from out of nowhere, and he gives them a position, but it's almost like a Mexican version of Slaughterhouse, just bars.
That's dope.
And I don't know if you know Zapata, but Zapata the Ghost has always been just hip hop. Like,
Shit, I gotta search him out.
oh man, he's dope. And
See
then,
what I'm missing.
yeah, but even that female you brought up, what's her name?
Reverie?
Reverie.
Mm-hmm.
She and I made the mistake, and I apologize on camera again to the sister, but when I introduced myself, because we did the Chicano Rap Festival or the Chicano Music Festival last
In Vegas?
year. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, we did it, and I introduced myself, but I misspoke her name,
Yeah, mispronounced it?
and I think immediately just off of that, she kind of was upset, and maybe
Come on.
did
She ain't got the easiest name to say.
Yeah,
I mean, unless
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
at
it
least-
took me a while to
at
figure it
least
out.
My assumption, that's if I assumed wrong, and that's why I felt there was
Right.
just a
Respectfully.
yeah, and respectfully, even now speaking on it, I just think she's dope as hell, and she, Bella too.
Bella the rapper, yeah.
There's another artist, Naive or forgot her name. She's got a boyfriend that raps also that goes by man, what's his name? I forgot, but it's a couple. It's a female rapper and it's a male rapper, and they're both dope, man. They're straight hip hop.
Man, there's a lot of cold ass females
Yes,
out nowadays,
yes.
bro. Bella, you hit a couple of them. Crystal Poppin', I heard she's
Crystal
doing her
Poppin's
thing.
another one.
I
Yeah.
love her videos, man. Whoever's doing her videos, man.
And what
is
about
on point.
Snow though, man?
Snow is, to me, she's like
She's
the reigning
king.
queen.
She's the king.
Man.
That's the king. That's what I tell everybody, man.
She'll
If you,
man, she'll
she
fucking
is the king.
destroy
She
some
is.
shit.
If you don't see her doing it bigger than any of us,
Right.
you're just-
Independently.
you're lying to yourself. And she don't ever get brought up. And sometimes I'm glad she don't get brought up, because I don't want her to get brought up with so much drama going on with us that it's almost like I don't want her to be put in that.
Yeah, let her stay in her
Yes.
lane. You know what? She's got a podcast now. I've seen she's starting to open up her little box that her world
She's
isn't.
getting closer.
And she's bringing more gente in, which is good. I mean, a diverse crowd. It's not just Latina, Chicano rappers, whatever. But, I mean, sooner or later, you're going to have to, because this is who's in your circle, whether you want to come out or not.
I think once we get, in my opinion, now I could be wrong, but I think once we get to that caliber of MCs, which I feel there's a couple, there's a couple of us, I think that's the ones that she needs to work with, not everybody, because, and I'm not saying that, pick and choose or selective politicking or none of that, but I do believe that we have to unite and filter out all the because if there is levels to this, then we need to act accordingly and represent each other correctly. Like I was telling Tony A, I forgot, I did the podcast, and I told him, I hope you don't interview just anybody because they're just artists. I hope you bring in the cream of the crop. Now, I get it. You got to show everybody love. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that there's certain individuals that do it just because it's the cool thing to do.
Right. I see
But
where you're going with that.
It kind of waters down our genre. And I'm not saying that you got to have a special word to get in or nothing, but we do have to start being responsible for the talent that we bring to the table, man.
I agree, on that, but I also kind of disagree.
Okay.
Because Tony, I've known he was the first one. Let's just say he put on the first one to put on Latino. To me, from what I've known, on his podcast years back, he was the first that started it, and he would bring all the rappers, like you said, all the greats. I actually legit, enjoyed watching him do that.
Yeah,
I was surprised
me
he
too.
did it so well too. So
Me
just
too.
coming from a DJ background, but at the same token, how do you? So you're saying, I'm trying to paint this, visualize this. You're saying let them earn their way
Yeah.
there, like make some noise, like go out, sell some albums first, or nowadays get some streams and earn that right to
Yeah.
be on such a platform like that.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And let me finish my thought.
Go ahead.
And here's why I disagree.
Okay.
Because where are these up and coming rappers supposed to go to get exposed? And remember, he's got a machine running.
No.
So if he runs out of the greats, what's left?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe you got to get creative.
No, you're. I understand that also. I just believe that, yes, you have to earn your place at the table. I personally believe that. If now, don't get me wrong. There's artists that have no name, no money, and I give them a free verse because I know
you believe in them.
Of course, not. It's my responsibility to help you establish yourself and get yourself to where you want to go. But if you don't have no talent, I can't work with you.
Facts.
It's nothing personal, but
you got it, or you don't.
And I believe that it's a. I don't have the answer.
Let me ask you this. What about, all right, let's throw this at you. So what about if, and it's crazy because this happens a lot nowadays, if they're popping because they're social media popping, because nowadays it's all about image. Say they're whack, but they, and now it's a, you're on because of, you got numbers.
And there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of artists that their popularity on their social is popping, but their music sucks. And I think at the end of the day, we as consumers are going to understand what's good and what's not. And if you can't show me your Spotify, let's just go with Spotify. Yeah, there's controversy on those numbers as well. But if you can't go on your Spotify and show me good numbers, but you could show me good numbers on your IE or your Instagram, you could speak to me about certain things, but as far as music, I don't think we can have a lot to talk about.
That's right. That's right.
But as far as you being creative with your image
it's like, I do this, motherfucker.
Yeah,
I do this. This is what I do. This is what I've done. This is what I know.
And you're right.
Yeah. I get it. I get it, bro.
As far as just the music, just we all have a certain talent, and I feel like I've dedicated my entire life to being a really, really good MC and a lyricist. And, I can't knock any artist for being popular in the social media at all. That's cool. That's another way to get money. You get monetized through Instagram, so you might be getting that money. But as far as the music,
Who are your top, not to switch lanes, but since we're on the topic of artistry and bars, top 5, man. Who's in your top 5 right now? Or back then or now?
Just, right off the top, Scarface, Pac, Cannabis,
Cannabis.
Royce.
Royce was dope
yes.
freestyler too.
Also like what's his name? Sci-Hi the Prince.
Oh yeah, I think I recently heard. Okay.
He's very dope too. And then I don't know, I would say Benny the Butcher.
Okay.
Man,
those are all. What about like Nas? You ever fuck with Nas?
I love Nas. And again, just off the top.
Yeah.
I think there's so many. I wouldn't have a top 5. I would probably a top 10 or even 15. But
yeah,
but off the top it would be Pac, Scarface, probably Nas. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
It's funny you bring him up, and I'm not even thinking about him. But you know,
What about Bay rappers?
I like what's his name? What did I say in my song? Bumping what? He just got signed to Yo Gotti.
Mm-hmm. New.
Yeah, he's a newer cat.
I don't
The
know, bro.
most
You got me
famous
stumped
Bay
there.
Area rapper you could think of right now.
Too Shorty 40.
No, but like of this time of our.
Oh, La Russell.
No, he's a black dude.
La Russell Black.
What's his name? Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of Russ.
Yo Gotti sings the "Rake It Up" song.
Right. I know you got no, but he signed it. Yo Gotti said.
Yeah, he's signing
Oh.
your. Gosh darn it.
So
He
I
had a
Google
beef-
that shit.
He had a
Fuck it.
beef with another artist from the Bay. It just came out the joint. And they had a song called "Where's Waldo" about him.
Oh, wait. The one that they dissed Lefty Gunplay? No? The light skinned dude from up? I mean,
Oh, Mozzie, man.
oh my man, you had me guessing,
Yeah,
bro.
my
Like
bad,
Jeopardy over
my
here.
bad,
Shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Mozzie's.
Mozzie.
I had a really man when I saw him on stage somewhere, and I was like, I gotta research this dude because he gets mad ass love. Dog.
Yeah, he's got a couple songs where you know what? I like the artists that get personal.
Right. Tells
Yeah.
the story, takes
Yes,
you
sir.
somewhere.
That-
and he's
that-
a street,
Yeah.
fool. So he's speaking the truth.
Yeah, but if a motherfucker, can you cuss on here?
Yeah.
If a motherfucker just gets personal, or at least just really comes up with something clever, because if you're still using one or two syllable words, it's cool, and I understand that to make a great song, it's not about lyrics. It's the complete opposite.
Right.
It's
Where can you take me?
Yeah, they say that there's I forgot what artist, his whole job to create hits was to use less than 30 words throughout the whole song. I think it was 30 words or something. Like it's a repetitive thing that you really don't have to put that much into making a real hit song. It's very simple. It doesn't have.
Who said that? Mozzie?
No, it's an artist that does nothing else but writes for artists.
Okay.
And so you would say probably, I don't even think he was a rapper. He wrote like songs for more pop type of artists, but his formula was to not use as many words. So in other words, it's just something simple, and I believe that to be true. That if you want to write a hit record, it's got nothing to do with bars.
Well, I agree. If we're talking about mainstream hits,
Right.
then yeah, most definitely. I mean, unless you're Kendrick, but even then, I mean, you still got to go back and listen to Kendrick shit at least 3 or 4 times just to really understand what the fuck he was saying. I mean, and it's the way, especially the way these YouTubers, man, be breaking down his bars.
Yeah.
Like, and with the video, like, that's it blows my mind the type of lyricist he is, and understands why he is where he is,
Right.
on the totem pole, man. But shit. So all right. With this being said, because I know you dope, how did did you have to change your style up? And I don't mean this disrespectfully at all. When you came to Clika One, because you ain't spitting Clika One the way you spit. I've heard you spit recently, and you know what I'm saying. So. Was it just did you have to change your style? Is what I'm saying. Because when I had Bozo on, he said he had to adapt to high power because it was Chicano, it was gangs, street. But he was like straight up hip hop, and he was actually trying to change, evolve. He said those are the words he used. I try to evolve high power.
That's how I feel. I evolved also, and I think that the reason why you see such a, I would say, big change in Clika One to Bad Boy today is. Pretty much, the last time you heard, I did an album with Spice One. Did you ever hear that?
Nah, I didn't know that.
I did a whole album with Spice One, and
shout out Spice, man.
Yes, sir.
We just saw him a few months ago.
Yes, sir. And so first and foremost, I'm from a black neighborhood. I'm a Crip, right? So
shit. Okay.
yeah. So I grew up totally different than.
In Vegas?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So. As far as a South Sider, I was not that.
Okay.
You know, so my whole upbringing was different.
Uh-huh.
My lingo was different. Everything. So when I got with the group, I understood that we needed to cater more to our people because we
Right.
were Mexican.
Mm.
But if you listen to the albums, you can hear the difference in not even just me, but the other two, because I also believe they adapted more to my style. Also, the more we evolved, because I'm not saying that being or growing up around black people, you're a better rapper, but there's something that makes you a little more future. I can't even explain
I
it.
get what you mean. I get what
But
you
you
mean.
know, like they say now with the homies using the N word.
Right.
If I'm not the first Mexican to use the N word in Chicano rap, then find them. But I pretty much was, and I don't take that as a medal. I'm not saying that like it's cool,
Right.
but that's just the truth, you know. I was, and this
Yeah.
was in '98, and I don't use it now
Right.
because I'm a grown up and I understand the politics, and I don't need to use it because I'm that good of an artist that I don't need to use it.
Right.
But
Do you
back,
think it was something to like fit in?
no,
Or was it something? It was just
no,
society, your homies that you
that's
grew
how
around
you
with,
grew up.
product of your
When you
environment.
hear every single one of your homies saying that, it's not like, oh, the black homies from over there are saying it. Even though, you know, you might be in the same neighborhood, but you're a Southsider and the black dudes are, no, that's not in my case.
Right.
My homies that jumped me in are the ones using it. So in my case, I would say it's the product of my environment.
Right.
I really grew up around that. So, and, you know, I don't like to use it now, but it's in my vocabulary. So sometimes it comes out, but you won't hear me say it in this interview. You won't hear me say it in any other interview just because I'm an older human being. I
Right.
understand.
Of course. Of course.
But yeah, so back to the whole.
Well, before we move forward,
Go ahead.
one last question, and you can answer or not. You said you went away. You got locked up
Yes,
for
sir.
okay. So how did that go down?
Great question.
You know, and
So
you know what I'm saying?
so
Because you gotta
so
move to the left or move to
I,
the
under,
right.
I understood that in the joint, it's not about your neighborhood. It's about the black car, the white car, Mexican, the bicycle car.
Bicycle.
So I'll be damned if I'm gonna go against my people
That's right.
because I'm Mexican before I'm a Crip,
Right.
and you know I understood that. So
Okay. I was just curious.
yeah, no. So I
for
rode
sure.
with the homies. I
Okay.
went in there understanding. I talked to the homie and I said, look, as long as you understand that I'm not here trying to be a Southsider, and as long as you understand that I am from where I am, and they went and the homies talked to my people from my neighborhood in the same prison, and the homies like, yeah, that's Toucan from the neighborhood, and you know, and I
Yeah.
had already spoke to them, and I said, you know, this is what I'm going to do because I believe it to be the right thing to do. I'm not going against my people for a blue rag, you know.
I was watching interview this podcaster the other day, and he's black and Mexican, and
That must be even harder, no?
yeah. So
I think I know what you're talking about. He was in his
Yeah.
kitchen.
yes,
Yeah,
you saw
with the
that
beard?
Yes,
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd shout him out, but I don't know if he want. I mean, it's out there.
Yeah.
A cat named Roughhouse, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
Somebody had put me on, and he went into detail on. You know, he grew up with Mexicans and he grew up with blacks when he ended up moving with his dad.
Yeah.
So when he got busted, he had to choose a side.
And he did
And
with
that's
his
what
dad.
kind of first
Yeah.
came to mind when you were telling me
Yeah.
that whole scenario.
Yeah.
But I understand and I realize that, you know, things a lot different on the inside than they are out here.
Very different. And because as soon as you come out now, it's like you're used to doing 3 years with homies. 13, buenos días.
Yeah,
You lived with them for 13 years. I mean,
right.
3 years. So it's not a lot of time, but it is some time.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
you know, you adapt to that. But I understood that I was a resident. That's what you're called. That's what you are. So, you know, when you come out, it's not that anymore. And it sucks because in my opinion, I would have, you know, if you speak to the 40-something-year-old Marcos now, I would have never got jumped in to begin with.
Right.
Let alone be trying to fight for a color of a rag is just it's just the most idiotic thing to do. But at that time, it's just what you're around. But man, it's definitely let me understand so many different perspectives than a lot of other people, because I've had, put it this way, the reason I got into the neighborhood that I'm from is because I came from one certain side of Vegas to the other side of Vegas. And in that side of Vegas, there's a certain gang, which all my family's from. My brother-in-law, her brother, everybody's from that neighborhood. But my wife always told me, you get jumped in, I'm not going to be with you. So that always kept me at bay. Now, this was 9, 10, 11, because we've known each other since we were young. But at 12 years old, after 3 years of knowing my wife before we got together, I ended up moving to the opposite side of town. Well, at this opposite side of town, this is where, my neighborhood, the Crips, and then the enemies of that side. So I started playing ball. I played ball with the Negros in the actual team. I was the point guard and everything. I was always that athletic.
Yeah.
And
out in there or out?
Outside.
Okay.
This was when I was younger.
Okay.
When I was 12 years old. This is when I got jumped in. So one day I'm going down with my basketball team, but they're from that neighborhood, Crips, right?
Yep.
They're blacks. And this other neighborhood, somehow they got the word that I was from this neighborhood, which wasn't nowhere near the truth.
You just
but
lived,
since I had came from over there,
right.
That's what they assumed. And before they ever did anything to try to fuck with me, my homeboys, being my basketball team, had my back. Now, it was an instance where they huddled up and they were coming to find Marcos. We want to confront him to see if he's from this neighborhood.
Right. Confront you.
And I'm like, nah, but the homies backed me up. And on the way home, after that conversation, I remember I pushed one of the homeboys and I said, I want in. So because they backed me up in that instant, I felt so good about these motherfuckers having my back.
Protected, yep.
That I said, I want in. And that's how I got jumped in. So
do you think it was
it wasn't because I was afraid, because I already had
was it an impulse?
No, they had my back already. I didn't have nothing, because they were like, you touch him, we all there's gonna be a problem.
So it was a sort of form of brotherhood then.
Yes, I just felt like, if y'all gonna have my back and we playing ball on the same team and we gonna be here for the next however.
God, man, this would be a dope ass like biopic, bro. Like a doc, like, man.
And it's crazy though, because
call Mr. Homicide. Yo, set that up, bro.
Peep this. Oh, so now the fools from that neighborhood, we so cool, man. Because I was never from over there. So I didn't have a beef with these people. They just assumed I was from over here.
Right.
So once they understood that that wasn't the case, I became friends. I got friends from everywhere, man. Thank God, because since I was in a Southsider, I could have friends from I could have Nathaniel friends.
Right.
I could have any type of friends, because that's not my get down. So, it's always been a very cool experience for me to say my life has been a lot different than a lot of people's, because once you're a Southsider, man, you have limitations. And that's where I wanted to get the conversation with us about how our genre has been so hard to push forward because of so much that is holding us back because of that,
Yeah, because the way that
the way
inside and outside,
the way the homies carry themselves.
I get you, brother,
and I respect it. Don't get me wrong, I respect it. I just wish we could hurry up and keep pushing forward, man, with the whole thing that Gold Toes is doing.
Yeah,
he's pushing the culture forward, but it's a very slippery slope.
It is, and I will say this, and I think you and I can both agree, because at the end of the day, it's music, bro. It's a music thing, why we're doing this. I had Destructive Films on the other day, very popular videographer right now. He's popping. And shout out Destructive. And I asked him, I says, have you ever gone up north and shot a video? And he's a video guy. He was like, yeah. He goes, I shot this one dude in Stockton, you know, and, you know, that's all it was. It just kind of came and went. But I wanted to get his perspective from it, you know, and I just think that, and even us, Lighter Shade. I mean, since we're talking about up north, I think we're still like, you know, safe to go. We just went to freaking Stockton this last summer. We went to Sacramento. We're going again to San Jose November 1st.
Because y'all didn't have no horses.
Because we
race.
weren't, we weren't that lifestyle.
You
We
didn't have a
didn't
dog in
bring
the
that.
fight. You
Exactly,
didn't have no
bro.
dog in the
Exactly.
And I feel that's where I'm at also, you know?
Yeah.
Even though, I still, so it's sometimes a little, you know, it's harder for me to speak on it, but I don't want to speak on politics of that. I want to speak on us getting ahead.
Right.
And it's so hard to do it because we got to be careful on what we say because there's homies.
They're watching.
If I went to the joint and I rode with them homies, I understand those politics. So I know that we have to be careful on what we speak, but I do believe that we need to speak on it in order to push it forward because if we don't speak on it, it's not going to go nowhere and somebody's got to let it, what you said, it's music. That's all we're talking about. All I'm talking about is music. The genre of Chicano rap, we need to push it forward. Can you imagine having Bands and Lefty on the same motherfucking track? Do you know how dope that would be, man? To have somebody.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, bro.
Yes.
I'm on the same page because, well, again, I didn't live that life. I didn't have a dog in a fight, as you would say. I've gone up north. I've done shows. They're fans to me. They buy my music. They listen. They know we ain't about that. But to hear like somebody like Lefty Gunplay Heart, you know, a Southsider, and then bands from up there, and all the other. This goes with all the other. Like for an example, bro, Big Tone. Shout outs to Big Tone. I guess he's an OG from up north. I didn't hear about him until maybe a year ago or somebody. Too. But I saw his shit, and I guess he's well respected up there. And he runs with who he runs with. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think his sound is similar to ours, a lot of ours. You know, like his samples he uses. Like again, remember, I'm looking from a music perspective,
Right.
And I'm going, shit, dude. Like, I don't have a problem giving props to the homies up there, you know, and. I know a lot of dudes that low-key be bumping fucking North shit, bro. That's like a lot of motherfuckers undercover say they don't bust SPM, dog.
Hey.
Come on. SPM comes out here, you're going to have a lot of motherfuckers at his show, bro.
You know, I've never liked the, I've never got into SPN's music. Never got into it. Not that I respect, all the respect in the world.
Right.
But as far as listening to him, I could tell you that the only song that I've heard was the one that was on the radio, and Wiggy 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 Wiggy.
Yeah,
But I've never listened to his albums. Like it just wasn't my cup of tea. That's not knocking him.
Yeah.
Was not my cup of tea. Same thing as Master Pete.
Yeah.
Did not like
God, we're two of the same, bro.
Yeah.
The sound just wasn't like.
Wasn't my cup of tea, man.
Because we're battle rappers at the end of the day.
Yes.
And that's what it is. And it brings me back to, again, Clika, one from what I've known you from for back then. Romero was on a podcast recently, and he had talked about a producer that y'all was fucking with when y'all first started doing music, and he ended up keeping the masters. Or he had said something like, it was in the beginning, and I think one of the songs was...
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Was on the Creep. The Creep.
Late Night Creep.
And he said, look, these are my masters, but I'm gonna put up the studio time, but I own these masters. And you guys ended up dipping and going somewhere else. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, sir. His name was Stone Paxton, and he was a very smart individual. This is what he did. So he had the music, the beats to the songs, and we brought in the investor. The investor thought he was paying for the masters of the songs and the studio time for the songs. He spent all this money to create the songs being put together. he ends up having some personal issues happen to where he had to dip and he could no longer be our investor. So we decided to leave, meaning you get to own an album that you could do what you want with it, but you would have to pay us for whatever we agreed that our lyrics and our vocals are worth, right?
That's called publishing.
Yes,
right.
sir. Now, we never had no contract with them. So there's no contract that any of them could find that says Bad Boy or Marcos gave away. Nope. Plus, I was underage, so, it didn't matter. But when we left, that guy had the investor, which was a paisa, paisa, a pusher from Mexico. He had the songs that he thought he owned this album, and come to find out that the brother who you're talking about, the producer, he's like, wait a minute. I never said that I was selling you my beats. So they ended up having an internal struggle of who owned that album, not even thinking about, y'all could talk about whatever you want, but you can't put the album out without our consent,
Right. That's
those
us
are
on
our
there.
vocals. Years later, you heard of Gil Solis from GMP Records? You remember Tomas?
Yeah, 805.
Yes, sir. Well, his brother.
Okay, yeah.
Gil Solis.
Rest in peace. He passed away.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
So Tomas had, a bunch of artists, and Gil did also. Gil had Duende. He had Brown Boy, matter of fact.
Okay.
And this was, but come to find out that the brother and the Mexican dude that supposedly owned this album ended up getting together with Gil, and they try to release the album. Right now, I'm not gonna fight you. I don't care. Plus, the album didn't really do nothing. But right as soon as they started trying to press up the first copies, they got into it again.
Right.
And it was just a big.
Hey, bro, it was brutal back then when it came to those CDs. And I remember all those fools. Thomas, the Murrays, Richard from Norwalk Records.
Richard Bruce from
P.O. That's a fucking piece to me. Hey, my guy, come here. Come use my studio. Come on.
Hey, it was bad.
That fool would try to sit there and try to tell me how to rap. My motherfucker, you little Irish, what was he? Fucking
Polak.
Polak. Yeah, you little Polish motherfucker.
Peep this. So do you remember Odyssey Records in Vegas?
Familiar with it.
It was on the Strip, open 24 hours a day.
Shit.
It was like half the size of a Walmart.
Damn, I remember
huge,
the name.
Right? Okay, so that was like the biggest store, I would say, in the country that was open 24 hours, that was huge like that. But anyways, we hit number 4 in the top 20, right? Which was huge, because if you hit top 20 in in Vegas, you were top 20 in the state of Nevada. So any record label is going to immediately be like, who took my artist off the top? Because it matters, right?
Right.
So we started getting a bunch of calls from record labels, and Gil Solis, this guy, they all messed it up for us. Like, really, right? But back to the Gil Solis thing, me and my wife go up to Odyssey Records to purchase a record of ours so I can have it on camera. We got, we're showing that we're right under Puff Daddy's No Way Out album. So we're just, and I go to grab a CD, and the lady rings it up. And as soon as she rings it up, it says Cali Lifestyle.
Oh, hey, I heard about this gibberish that was going on back then.
That was the
with the UPC.
That was the
bro. I don't know. I heard some shit.
Hey, but see, this is the stuff that they need to know. Not just.
It was what they call the UPCs or the barcode.
They were switching our barcode.
Switching barcodes
now,
so they can get.
See, everybody.
That's crazy.
The game was dirty.
I don't think anybody's talked about that like that, dog.
But
no one's brought that up.
I'm gonna make sure that I tell the truth, and I get it. It's a business, but at the end of the day, there's right and there's wrong, and our Chicano rap history is so messed up, man. From the very beginning of it, just to think about it this way, Um, if you add up our subscribers on um, what is it? Spotify, we're over a little over 100,000, right?
Okay.
Subscribers or listeners, whatever.
Yeah, listener.
That's a great number for an independent artist
Hell yeah.
that had 2 albums in 1998
Yep.
and 1999, whatever. Hasn't released nothing since, and those are our numbers. Great numbers. Now, I believe that our record is getting close to a gold album.
Mm-hmm.
That first one, you could argue with me, or you could say it's not okay, but my calculations are about a gold album. Now, how can I prove it, oh? Can't.
Yeah.
Why can't I prove it, oh? Because all our people shopped where? Where did we go to buy our...
Warehouse.
No, well, some of us did, but where did really all the Chicano rappers...
Swap me.
Do you know how...
And he's right, because they don't scan shit at... Man, that's a great point. Because I remember fools would come to my house, my studio, man, and pick up a gang of Brown Royal Kingpin CDs, and they would just... Boxes of 25. Remember they came in 25, the boxes, and they would take them to the mom and pop store.
You know how they always say a Mexican can't get signed, but we don't need nobody to sign us.
And that's not even including the bootlegs.
So if you were to have a sound scan at all these swap meets, we would be balling just like the Negros.
Yeah.
But we're not, because of that fact only. And that's a huge problem. But that's also a huge point, that we don't need to go to nobody to sign us. We don't need none of that. We all sold enough copies, as much as any West Coast artist, you could say, but that's not documented because we went to the swap meets, man.
Right.
So that stops us from having our sound scan numbers, which stops you from actually getting money from these majors. But if you could add up all of Capone's numbers, all of anybody that was... the only reason we're not balling out of control was for that reason only. And not just that, but we set the bar so low when we took our albums to these swap meets. Give me $5.
All right. Right.
Are you kidding
A CD
me?
would take about like $1 to make
87, 90 something cents to make them.
Yeah.
So we could have made a lot more money, but whoever took their first albums to the stores at that time went way too low. Instead, you get them through a distribution. Warehouse used to give you $9 for them. But when you're charging $4 or $5 for the swap meets, and that's where most of your majority of your records are sold, and you're talking about a group with 3 members, there wasn't too much money in it.
Right.
And not just that, but most of our brothers that were in the rap game used to sell their albums straight out.
And then a lot of those, I mean, because I do know the swap meets would also get them from, remember they had the distributions, like whether the Southwest distribution and a lot of these little one-stop shops, they would call them.
But most of them were being brought in by Murray, Heel.
Yeah.
I'd
be at the swap meet all the time right here off Tyler, man, Adams, man. Shout outs to JR. And JR ran with it, Murray, and JR had all the late. There's where I learned about you guys, and Little Ones, and Shadows, and Night Owls, and they were all in that glass case. And he had some LSOB, but ours was legit. Like ours was on the label,
where you're supposed to be at. That's where I would separate everybody else from us, because you guys were at, where we're not the real artists, but the artists that were. That's why I was surprised when you said you were independent. Yeah. Because whoever was running your program, which was different at that time, but still they did a great job, because you guys looked to us. I thought you were always with a major.
Well, I don't want to get him misconstrued. We were on an independent label, which was doing some. They had some, they were big, but for other genres of music. So like, the guy that signed Barry White.
Oh,
signed Neil
okay.
Diamond.
Oh,
you know
my
what I'm saying?
God.
So they
So it
weren't
was
like
just a different
it wasn't the
genre.
homie down the street had it. It
So
wasn't like
that's
that.
what I thought. Okay,
now
so
these
it was
guys
a-
were as established. They had a fucking building off of Beverly and Wilshire.
So
you
it's
know?
just a different genre of
It was
music
just a
that's
different genre.
decided to
They
dabble
decided
in that.
to take a chance
very
on
smart.
Latinos and hip
Because
hop.
I'm like, man, you guys had radio play, you had MTV play. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys had to have a budget for that. So
Right.
that's okay. So you
Yeah,
guys,
there was an A&R. There was a promotion
yeah. So
side.
you
There-
was with a major that just wasn't a hip hop major,
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
which was, man, that's where we all want to get to though. At
Right.
the end of the day, that's where we all wanted to get to, and it's a blessing that you guys got there, man.
But you know what? You guys, and I know you probably don't regret anything because that's
Hell
where it
no.
made you today, and that's why you're here. And,
no, man.
and all those artists as well. Like I see they're well off. And what more importantly is, it's the flowers that we get
Yeah.
being in our age at this time in 2024. We've lost a lot, and others are still going. You know, salute to like, and I'm going to say that I got motherfuckers that I bump now that were beefing with us. The Cali Lifestyles. Those motherfuckers are back doing it.
Yeah.
However they're doing it, you know, I see Dominators doing the tracks. Salute
I
Dominator.
just saw him, yeah.
I don't know if 805, what's his name, Tomas behind. Regardless, their program is back on.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
And I think we deserve to.
You
be,
know,
not to
us,
cut
we
you off.
back
Yeah.
at it again.
We need to get that.
Shadow's still continuing to do music, and these guys get fucking praised, bro.
I believe we all
Cornejo's top
own.
of the, at his food chain.
I believe us Chicano rappers that really stamped ourselves in the game, we deserve to have some type of there needs to be and those who fight for it, because you got to fight for it.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, well, no, I want to see you fight for that position that you had before, because it should be a lot easier for us that are already established and people already know us to be able to have the tools that we have now to promote ourselves. It should be super easy for us to make money now.
It really is. I
Yeah.
just think more gente needs to apply themselves.
Yes, and
And a
you
lot of
got to
them
come with
don't.
good music. Music changes.
Music is changing,
So if
yeah.
you don't change with the times, man, that's nobody's fault but yours.
Unless
If
you a
can't-
sexy red shaking your ass in Ice Spice. You know, because I know some girls that are just as bad that are Latina that'll slay that ass in a battle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
and
yeah.
and shout outs to you, the Latinas
Hip
that
hop
doing
don't
it.
change either. Hip hop's the only real genre that will never lose its respect. You could say anything about those that were one hit wonders or those that just came out because they had a budget to put the album out, but real talent that's got bars, that'll never get old. Plus, we get smarter because if you're about bars, and that means you're studying words, and if you get older, you just get better. So, like Eminem, or who won the Grammys last year? Big Mike. He swept the Grammys. He's in his 50s. You can't tell me I can't win the Grammys 10 years from now.
That's right.
He did it. Oh, because he's a brother? Nah, it's just good music. Go listen to the album. It's a wonderful album. Yeah, it had a little bit to do with politics and whatever, but I still believe that he had a great album. Eminem, if you don't think Music to Murder By was a great album, you're
Yeah.
just lying. That was a great album.
I saw him going back to his older style too on his
Right.
most recent one,
Right?
which I was kind of refreshing to hear
To me
him.
it is, because I didn't like none of that other stuff. I like that old M. You know, I just think it's all about music. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if the brothers let us in or whatever you want to think. You're a perfect example of that's not true.
Right.
It has nothing to do with them.
Right.
You guys did it. So what's the difference? Before Chicano rap came about, there was no such thing as Chicano rap when you guys were out. That's where I want to go back to.
That's always an interesting conversation because I had a big ass conversation with an artist named Johnny Z. Do you remember Johnny Z? He had
Yeah.
that shake your culo.
Yeah.
Shake. He was like Miami bass type
Yeah.
sounding. Shout outs to Johnny Z. We're doing some shows with him. Bro, we got into it on text. And one thing, when a conversation like that, you don't want to be on text.
No.
Just call him motherfucker because there's so much to say in so little time.
Yeah.
But we ended up having a good-ass 2-hour conversation going back and forth. And his whole point was, I was like, what's up? Bro, why don't you embrace your Chicano rap, homie? Why don't you? I says, Johnny, I says, all right, what makes you think that I'm claiming Chicano rap? Do you realize that Chicano rap is a subgenre of hip hop? And I says, he goes, well, then what am I? I says, what you are, we're all under the hip hop umbrella, okay? But there's some subgenres. There's down south. There's Bay Area sound. There's booty music. There's breakdancing hip hop. It's all format. There's Chicano rap, which is, you can call it hip hop, but don't call my sound Chicano rap.
No.
I'm a Chicano doing rap.
Right.
And I know a lot of rappers will agree with that, and a lot of gente won't. You don't get it because you're not in this realm. This isn't what you do. This is what we were doing. I love my culture. I got an album called Brown and Proud, damn it. I'm not saying I'm not.
Right. Chicano rapper.
But I do hip hop is what I do.
Chicano rapper has two meanings. You're a Chicano rapping.
Yes.
But you're not a Chicano rapper.
Right.
As in the genre. There's no way.
And I think there's where it got
and
twisted.
That's what people
and
think
he
it's
didn't.
personal. Like,
well, why not?
Yeah, you're trying
But what
to
do you say to people that say, well, why not? Why don't you embrace
it? Because I'm not in that genre of music.
Exactly. And I think that's what it boils down to.
And that's what I told Tony. I said, there's different genres of music in this.
And you're from Mexico.
Yeah.
Guadalajara, you know what I'm saying?
So
you're telling like.
I'm a Mexican rapper. I cannot by no way, shape, or form be a Chicano rapper because I'm not Chicano. But that's where I think people think you're trying to like say you're not being proud of being a Chicano. No,
right.
man.
No,
that's not what
totally
I'm saying.
Two different things.
My thing is there's more than one type of different styles that Mexican Americans rap like. That's it. It's got nothing to do with us not wanting to be in that genre.
Yeah.
That's just not the type of music that I make. But we're proud to be Chicanos. That's
if you know, you know, man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying you have to be from this world and of hip hop and where it came from. And you know, when we grew up, like I said, I mentioned names earlier, Big Daddy Kane and Rakim and so on and so forth. Bro, I was bumping East Coast rap when I was a youngster. And then all of a sudden a group came out. You know, I think it was dun 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 dun. Oh, Rockberry. What was that? LA Dream Team. Thank you. Yeah, you know, West Coast. I'm going down, doing the same type of Miami-based type sound. You know, but that whole fast. You know, and you know, Egyptian Lover being from LA. Remember, dog, I'm 7th grade. You know, I'm 12 years old. I'm listening I'm just new to hip hop.
Right.
But I was bumping, you know, the East Coast, you know, the LL Cool J's and whatnot. Then NWA come. Then I hear this guy named Eazy-E.
It's like trying to say NWA was hip hop, or boom bap. It's not boom bap. You can't say NWA was boom bap. And that's like what they're trying to do with certain artists. They're trying to say, no, you're boom bap because it's just boom bap or that's it.
Right.
That's not possible, you know?
They're gangster rap.
That's gangster rap, but it's under the umbrella of hip-hop.
It's almost like being called Pochos versus Chicanos, feature Latinos, Hispanics, and it's like, fuck. It's like, you know, what's his name? Selena's dad in the movie said it best. You know, like, man, it's like we're too Mexican to be American. We're too American to be Mexican. Like, we don't fit in, but it's like different names. My whole thing is just go study that shit. All right. But what I know is I'm a Mexican American. I'm from here. I grew up on, you know, my Guadalajara. My grandma was from Guadalajara. Okay. My mom born here. My dad born here. My grandfather was from El Paso, Texas. Point blank.
My mom's mom was born here, and my mom was born in Guadalajara. So
there you go.
Know, it's just the same thing. Now, another thing I could add to that too, is what was I gonna say? Damn, I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna take it to? Where do you think, as far as how we're heading, do you think Chicano rap is evolving into a different style of genre now? Altogether?
No, I think it's very choosy, meaning choosing who I want to sound like today.
But most of them are choosing a different style?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
I see. There's a lot of offbeat rappers,
A
which
lot.
I don't
And
understand.
You think that's on purpose?
It is on purpose. I'm pretty convinced now it is. No disrespect, at all. You got to get on the shit or get off. Fuck it, I'll go on this shit where the old school is.
Hey, but how can you rap off beat?
I put a lot of rappers on beat back in the day,
No,
but
can
who
you
really didn't know how to
off
rap.
beat?
But
Can you learn how to get off beat? I can't do it.
I know what you mean, and I think
I
it's
don't know
just the
how to
style.
get
I
off
think
a
it's the
beat.
style. It's crazy. I don't know. I think it's the Danny, who's because again, it's coming after like rappers that the Draco, the ruler.
Draco the Ruler.
It's that style.
I thought
And then it's
Blueface.
offbeat.
I think when Blueface.
Thank
in my
you.
opinion,
Blueface was the first
Blueface was
offbeat
the first
motherfucker. I
motherfucker to do
go,
it.
is this guy like?
not
Is he not all there?
or he's
Or
not.
are people hearing what I'm hearing?
Now, do you know there's certain individuals that I've met throughout my career that know how to freestyle like a motherfucker, but as soon as they write, they can't rap it on beat. Have you ever met that individual?
Even back in the day.
Right.
There was dopest freestylers that couldn't even write a rap.
But
But you get them in a cipher, I'm bringing them to the fucking party.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that there's certain individuals that if you're rapping off beat and it's not by accident, it's because you don't have the soul.
Maybe it's
You
yeah.
can't
There's
find
those
that
rappers
pocket.
too. There's those rappers too. But I think they're doing it on purpose.
That's crazy.
You know, I could drop names, but I won't. But it's pretty much a lot of newer rappers that are doing it. And I can't.
But you think the majority is focusing more on a different style of genre now?
It's
Is it more beneficial for all of us as a group?
That's a great question. Great question. I got a question with that question because
Okay.
I don't have an answer for that. I guess my answer would be: is it a new genre? Well, I think everything transcends everything.
Is it more commercial? Is it more marketable for a bigger audience?
No,
It's
for
not?
the massive. What's going on today?
Yeah.
No, I think people are settling. I don't know if that's the word I want to use, but I said it. Meaning they're settling for what's there. Remember, radio would always pound records in your fucking head. I worked radio and like the first time you heard it, you fucking like hated it. The second time you heard it, okay, whatever. I still hate it. The third time you heard, all right, man, fucking I know that chorus now because they keep pounding that
Yeah.
shit in my head.
Yeah.
So eventually you're gonna know the song, and guess what? The popularity of it makes it win a Grammy or climb up the charts. And that has a lot to do with politics. Sometimes it's not on the song. It's because it's force-fed. I think a lot of shit right now that's on the internet, and it's been on for a while, is being...
The algorithm is manipulated?
I would say so. I want to. That and bots, there's that conversation. People buying views.
Do you
So
think...
it makes you look like you popping.
Okay, is there a difference between... No, there's a big difference, but this is my thing with us artists nowadays too, is that they don't understand that the budget that was supposed to go into your album, the $65 an hour, the $85 an hour, that $30, $40, $50, $80,000 budget that we spent back in the days
Yeah.
for the album should be spent on marketing.
Right.
And they're not doing that. They're going and they're getting a laptop, a Mac, a brand new Mac for $1,200 and getting some Yamahas, and they're buying their little Apollo, and they got a studio for about 3 racks, and they're recording a whole album, and they're just loading it onto the internet and expecting for it to do its job.
Right.
And I get it. There's certain individuals that might start there and take off, but that's not how to do it. You're forgot about the marketing strategy, where you have to pay to market your album, to produce your album. In order for me to see your shit pop up on my algorithm, you have to pay for that.
Yeah, you got to boost the ads.
And I don't believe anybody's doing that.
I don't think anything happens organically anymore like it used to. Back then, we would have vinyls, white vinyls with no labels on them.
Nothing.
They call them test presses.
Right.
Before that shit got slapped with a cover on it. The label, I know, because the label would give us like a handful of them test presses. Fuck, we take those right to the DJs at the fucking clubs. Here you go. Here you go. We drop them off.
There's none of that.
And that shit just
It's
organically
word of
happened.
mouth.
Word of mouth.
But now, how do you get your stuff to pop up in your algorithm? It's like, for instance, and I'm not knocking the homies from Latin Beast at all. I'm not. And I appreciate what their intentions are to blow up our genre, right? But when you even if you don't pay, because I know the homeboy Tone is a very generous dude and he has helped out a lot of people, a lot of people's careers. But when you got so many people coming, bringing your record, and then you just have one channel, which is Latin Beast, to play it on, it's getting pushed to the bottom in a week. And it's never seen again.
Right.
Unless you go through their history and keep searching up until you find that record.
Right.
But,
So it's up to the artist to continue with the reels.
hey,
to
Tone,
continue
here's
with
another
the shorts.
whatever. Put it to the top again. Or, hey, Tone, can I get your banner on the
Right.
And I don't think
It's like World Star when that came out. Remember,
Right.
they was charging World Star was charging motherfuckers $5,000, 5 racks for the top.
Yes,
Fuck, I
sir.
remember that.
Right. And nobody's, if you're not fighting for that spot,
Right.
that rack, I don't know what you're doing. Because that should be the most important thing for you to get your hands
So
on.
what you're saying is artists are taking their money and just fucking it off.
They're fucking it off. Not even taking the money and fucking it off, but I don't see no rapper spending money on your record no more. They just think it's about shooting a $500 video and recording a song, and then if it hits, it hits. I don't think we're and I haven't done it yet, so I'm in that box too, because I don't know.
That's interesting you bring it up, because let's end on this.
Okay.
Block 16 Entertainment. Is that your record label?
Yes, sir.
How long has that been in existence?
Since maybe 2013.
Shit. So damn near.
But it hasn't been active as far as, it just became an entity to collect my income from the old Clika stuff.
Got it. Have you signed artists to that label?
And I never will. Not my responsibility to take care of others. But
Okay. Let me ask you this. Are you willing to filter projects
of course.
through that label?
Of course. That's what I tell everybody. As long as I know and you know that you own the project, I will. Because, for instance, I got the distribution deal through Empire. A lot of people don't understand how important that is, because if I send you any promo and it just says Block 16 and Empire, people are going to think this dude made it, which technically it's a great deal, because I'm with Ghazi. I'm working with, that's the people that push my record. You go,
Right.
and I get it, you could go through DistroKid, but they're not going to do what Empire does.
Right,
I've seen it. I've proved it to other artists. So my whole thing is, yes, I'm willing to do, to give you, say for instance, you got a record and you bring it to me like, hey, sign it. No. This is what we're going to do. We're going to put it under your record label. We're going to take mine out the way. I don't want nobody to believe or think that I'm in your pockets. So let's take mine out the way. And then we're just going to put yours and Empire. It's legal.
So what's your...
My job is to make sure that you look like you got the same thing that I got going on. Same deal, even though it's going through me. But it's all about perception.
Right.
So, in other words, yes. But I don't want to be in the, oh no, because that's the thing with Gotos. Nobody wants to mess with them because you're messing with somebody from up north.
Right.
And in reality, I think he's got the same thing that I got now. But people know that he's with a major. So if he took himself out the equation, but was still,
Yeah.
he'll get a lot more people to come F with him. And I think that's what I'm trying to do with my record label.
Okay. Because I saw that and it was, I didn't know how active that was. I saw some, because you got your own IG on it too as well, since we were talking about the conversation. So that's interesting. I didn't know you had a deal with Empire.
Yes, sir.
How long has that been in existence?
Since 2020, 21 almost.
Oh, shit.
Not that long
Okay.
ago.
How many acts have you,
I have distributed 2 other acts, but again, I don't take nothing from them. I'm cool with my income from my records. All I want is the catalog, so I could restructure my deal a little better next time.
Got it.
That's it.
Are you yourself putting out music?
Not yet, but I'm going to. I got.
Bro,
the
you
two.
need to.
Yeah. No,
To save the
right.
world.
You're
Save
right.
hip hop.
Yeah, right.
I'm telling you, dog.
I'm gonna send you some new stuff that I got, man. But I promise you, it is going to shake it up a little bit. It's going up the bar.
Right.
It has to, and I think that's where we're heading. I think that's what I was trying to say. Is I think we're going in that direction.
Yeah.
That our people are understanding that at the end of the day, hip hop is the top of the umbrella for a reason, because that is the ultimate goal, is to be respected for the pen and because the greatest never fall off. Rakim would never. Rakim
Never,
would
just drop
eat
one.
for the rest of his life comfortably.
Chino XL was also on that album. Rest in peace.
It's a wonderful spot to be in, and I think you guys are right there. If you could say hip hop Latinos,
Yeah.
you guys were on the front. Were you guys on the front cover of that music? And
That's funny. I was just talking about that cover today with Cliff, Industry Insider, right?
yes,
No,
you're not. I remember now.
we got invited, but the record label didn't want to fly us out.
That sucks.
Goes back to what we were saying. I'm like, really? Fucking little. Now that I know how much plane tickets are.
But
Like the
if you
fucking,
think
really
about
now
it,
just for the shoot. Like,
if you
how
think
big
about it
was that?
though, I understand what their mentality. Do you think it was really financial?
I don't know, bro. Maybe it was something I was told.
It might be a little more marketed. They probably wanted to keep you guys with the Coca-Cola products.
Pop.
There's nothing wrong
That's
with
a
that.
great yeah,
Nothing wrong
way
with
to
that.
look at it.
Because
Possibly. We pushed that. Me, my hardcore side was hip hop.
yeah,
But then I knew we was pop because of our jams. But that would give me fuel to when I'd go to cities and battle fools who would like, don't take Sunday afternoon and Latin active and think that's
like a
all
joke.
me.
No, right.
Like,
I
I
can get in
still
your
do
ass.
this.
I can get in your ass. Yes.
And many times.
I don't
but,
think Industry Insider was even necessary for you guys though.
ooh, that's a good perspective.
I mean, if
For
you
the
think about
culture, I thought it would be
for the
dope.
culture, you're
'Cause you had a
100%
big
correct.
pun on there.
You're 100%
Fat
correct.
Joe,
For the
it
culture.
was unity, and I think that was more. Remember, this was a chance to make a statement, and which it did, because you just brought it up. 30-some years later, Industry Insider, you damn near knew the fucking magazine. You remember exactly who's on the
I had
cover.
it. Yes.
It was black and white. That was a monumental moment.
Yes, it
and
was.
we weren't fucking there.
I get it from that point,
You
from
know.
that perspective, and it's all about perspective.
For us. But from a marketing standpoint, maybe you're right. Maybe that's why they didn't want to. But then again, they were trying to push us to be accepted in New York. Because remember, hip hop at the time, New York and East Coast, or New York and West Coast, just didn't get along with this was like later with Pac and Biggie.
You're right. That's
You know,
definitely.
But the
been something
Latinos
that-
did. We got along with fucking Fat Joe, fucking Pun.
I would love to know that answer though. If what their approach was it because of that? Because that's, in my opinion, that's the only logical thing that would make sense.
I'm gonna
for you
find
guys.
out for you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
call. I'm gonna call my boy and see what's up with that. But man, on that note, bro, my boy, he got to get up tomorrow, man.
Hey man,
But-
I appreciate you having me here. So
Real quick-
whatever little time you could give me, I appreciate
For
it.
sure, dog. I know you hit me on the fly, but yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
was willing to accept because I think this was a long conversation. You know, it was supposed to happen a long time ago. But really quick, aside of your you coming back, you got your label. What about the you got plans for a podcast? I heard.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Block-
start diving into
Block
that?
16, just real quick. Block 16, it's my wife says stop calling it a podcast. Because it's technically not
Smart.
a podcast.
Smart.
Yes. So we got games shows in it.
Uh-huh.
We have skits in it.
Nice.
So picture this, what I try to compare it to. Picture the Price is Right, the Dave Chappelle, and the Joe Rogan show all in one. But that takes a lot of work. So
Yes, it does.
yes, and
It's just you and her.
It's
Putting it together.
my wife, two friends of ours, and myself. So it's
Okay.
three ladies, beautiful ladies, and your boy. So I think it's a great formula because what's better to look at than some beautiful ladies and old head rapper, that still got it. But they're not just females. You think females? No, they're very intelligent.
Yeah, I was about to
beautiful
say that was
women.
my next question.
And they got the
As
character.
long as they got a brain on them, and they know. No disrespect. I say that respectfully.
And the character. Oh, they got. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's gonna be dope because you're not just looking at somebody interview somebody else. You're gonna be watching the interview, and then all of a sudden we'll cut to a skit.
Dope.
And then after the skit, we come back and we got a game show.
Brother, I'm telling you, a lot goes into this right now.
Yes,
I mean, you
sir.
see, and week to week, we're always trying to evolve. We've been doing this a couple of years. Even I get not bored, but maybe it's my ADD, bro, just doing this. That's why I've explored and, I ventured off to other platforms.
Do you enjoy it?
I love it.
Bro, I get calls every
Bro?
every hour. So hey, we're gonna do this now. So it's always evolving.
I think it's needed.
No, it is. And the things you just mentioned, like skits and all that, like I love playing music for people. That's just another outlet, but put it on the Blackout podcast.
Right.
Whatever. I will say this, the podcast thing, at the time, a couple years ago, we wanted to make it the Blackout podcast. And then I think somebody came to me 6 months later, was like, maybe you should try changing your name, just giving me some constructive criticism and maybe dropping podcasts. And I said, why? Why you say that? He's like, well, a kid from Minnesota can pick up a phone and get on it and just call it a podcast. You're not just a podcast. You've done radio for 23 years. You've got 35 years almost experience in the game as a rapper. You're fucking more than – you're ODM, the brand for starters, and you're more than a podcast.
Just like you said.
So you might as well tie everything else underneath the Blackout.
ODM, the brand, my boy.
I take that respectfully, bro, but I think that's a great thing. I can't wait to see what you're doing. Yuck Mouth, he's got his thing that has been popping, and he does some funny, interesting things. And I'm still learning. Remember, I come from radio, so it's playing music, it's interviewing. There's no time schedule.
You're natural for this.
Appreciate it, man. But I love doing the skits too, because that's a whole side of thing too. But man, I wish you nothing but best, bro.
Thank you, baby. Thank
and
you.
If, like I said, I'm here for you. If you need any calls, you call me, man. If there's anything I can help you with. I'm just a phone call away, man.
I would love to come back and, maybe 6 months from now with the whole crew.
That would be with Brown and man.
No, well, that too.
Okay.
Well, actually,
are you guys still cool? Let's save it for the members page.
No, but I'm saying as far as the podcast crew.
Yeah, okay.
Because I want to do the whole run with them.
Okay.
And I would love for you to have us back as,
For sure. Once you guys get it going.
Once it gets going,
let's
I would, yeah.
Vice versa. I'll come on your show.
You got to come on,
Yeah.
Little Rob, you're going to see the very first show is going to be epic, man.
Okay.
We got couples. Matter of fact, I would love to have you and your wife come on the show, because these shows are not what you think. These are really dope, out the box thinking couple. It's all about couples to begin with. Right. I don't know if I mentioned that, but Icon and Negra, Rob and his wife. I'm talking about, things that you want to experience.
Reality shit in the household.
Imagine
type
ODM and his wife, or Frost and his girl. Just
well, we've had a vlog, a family channel on YouTube for the last 5 years.
I gotta get into that.
I'll shoot you that, man.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
my wife and I and our family.
Yeah,
kind of like some Reverend Run type shit. Run's house.
Yeah, exactly.
With the Chicano Latino version, but
so
my wife's she's the face of it, because women, all they do, what do? They watch fucking Kardashian. They just want to see what these women are doing, their daily routines.
They're making it easy for me. They're coming up with so much stuff, man, and it's dope.
Finally, I got off the camera. I was like, that's all
right,
you know what I mean? Go ahead. I need content so I can produce it and put it together. But yeah, man, that'd be dope. We'd be down.
Yeah, I think this first one, once we prove to everybody that it's possible and we show everybody what we're talking about, because me just speaking it, but once you see it, you're going to be like, oh, shit, And hopefully we'll get you and your wife to come through, man.
Dope. So it's called the Block 16?
Just Block 16.
Block 16.
Yeah, Block 16. Dope. And that means Vegas. It's just, if you Google Block 16, it should take you to the history of Las Vegas.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I just wanted to name it something different, but something that meant the hometown. So, yeah.
For sure, man. Hey, shout outs to everybody who tapping in. Please give this a like, subscribe, share this, do it all, man. It was a great conversation with my boy. It was a long time coming.
Thank you, baby.
Make sure you hit him up on IG is bad. You give
Clika one bad for something.
Clika one bad boy. That's what it is.
I got it. Yeah, I forgot, man. But yes, they can
sure,
put it
dog.
up there. They'll find me.
That's what's up, man.
But man, thank you for having me too, O.
For sure,
it's
dog.
a pleasure, man.
It won't
Thank
be the
you.
last time, man. For
That's
sure.
right. That's right.
Hey, you guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.